What's up, everybody? One Fun Guy podcast coming at you in the studio today. I have some bad news, guys. You might have saw the post a little bit earlier. Greg, my guest for today, had to cancel, so it's just going to be me hanging out. I didn't have anything planned. I had my whole episode based around Greg and what we were going to talk about. So unfortunately, there's really not much I can do or say otherwise. So if you guys are hanging out with me and you want to ask me some questions, go ahead. Today's episode still will be sponsored by the Clubhouse Inc. That's www.shoptheclubhs.com. So if you like this hoodie or any of the other ones I wear, you can find it at www.shoptheclubhs.com. So it's just going to be me, guys, hanging out. I'll stay on as long as I can. I still wanted to make an episode. Today's episode with Greg is going to be it will be rescheduled for next Sunday at 5. Greg's an awesome dude. He's got a great story to tell. We have a mutual love for watches, and we also have a fascination for weapons and other things like that. So we'll get into all that next week. I don't want to go too in depth about it, but we were going to talk watches, his story, and everything else, which we will do next Sunday. So with that being said, this week I do have a podcast Friday with Roberta. We were going to talk about the power of networking and social media, and I really kind of don't have anything else to say or do on this podcast. I just wanted to come on to officially apologize to everybody who was interested in, watching the show today. Unfortunately, Greg was under the weather and he just wasn't able to do it. So we're rescheduling for next week. So I still technically will have a podcast this week. It will be with Roberta on Friday, and then Greg will be rescheduled till next Sunday. So I'm just kind of hanging out, guys, at this point. I just kind of wanted to come on again to say I was sorry for that mishap with today's podcast, but I still wanted to, drop some stuff and see. So my schedule this week, like I said, is going to be unique in the fact that I'm going to have 2 podcasts, but then I'm still going to have another one planned for the following week with Lakeisha, and I will set all that up too. She is awesome. She became a new friend, and now we are going to do a podcast with her and talk about her business, how it started, all the stuff that she's got going on. So I have a fun couple weeks coming up. But again, unfortunately for today with Greg, we did have to reschedule the podcast. So it's not canceled. He's still coming up. It's kind of the same thing what happened last week, guys, with American Overdose, right? I was super excited to have those guys on. They're having some complications doing the tour. They are on a nationwide tour right now. And there's nothing else I can really say or do with other people's schedules, guys. I have my calendar lined up and I have my podcast guests lined up. And if something happens in their lives, then we have to reschedule. There's not really much I can do or say about that. As much as I want to do an episode every week, unfortunately, with people scheduling and stuff like that, they have to cancel last minute. Greg messaged me last night and this morning, and we worked out a day that we're going to do it, which is next week. So it's not the end of the world, but I did, have all my stuff lined up for him. So everything we were going to talk about this week, we'll just talk about next week. So like I said, it's not, a big deal, but it's kind of just, a little bit of an inconvenience when you have the schedule, but that's what life is about, right, guys? Just kind of making, a pivot and moving on. So that's what I'm doing. So unfortunately at this point, I didn't really have anything else lined up. I have some stuff in the works with Paranoia Threat and my buddy James, who was on for the top 10 wrestling factions. We are going to talk horror movies. That's going to be coming up pretty soon. So I have a lot of stuff in the works. Unfortunately, today's episode just didn't work out the way I wanted to. But I do have my schedule. It still continues to move on. I still am booking now through July. So I have enough people that is going to be the path. But if they can't do it during 1 week, instead of moving it all the way until July or August, I'm just going to do my best to fit them in. Like I said, Greg is an awesome guy. He just happened to be under the weather. He was like, I just don't feel 100%. He's like, I want to give you my all. And he's like, could we just do it next week? I should be better. I said, sure. So all that being said, today I'm just kind of hanging out, guys. There really isn't anything to it. I just kind of was messing around with StreamYard for a little bit and just seeing what I could do from there. I think what I'm going to do is do the upgrade StreamYard so I can send this out to Instagram and YouTube, knock out 3 birds with 1 stone. I'm still in the process of emailing them to see what I can do, what my banners can be, what my backgrounds can be, and everything else like that. So this video will get posted to YouTube, just not in the manner that I wanted to as a full-fledged podcast, but it's just me hanging out. So if anybody is on and wants to ask any questions, I am linked up through Facebook, which normally I don't see the comments because I'm just focused on my guest, but today, obviously, I don't have one. So it's just me. I just wanted to come on and say a quick hello and thank you guys for all supporting me. I'm One Fun Guy Podcast across all the platforms, guys. So I'm here on YouTube, and I am also on TikTok, on Instagram, and over on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and here on Facebook. So One Fun Guy Podcast. You could see my channel on YouTube. If you just type in One Fun Guy Podcast, I will pop up. And hopefully you guys like my stuff. Hopefully I'm entertaining. I try to put out some positive vibes into the world. That's my goal with the podcast. Obviously down the road, we'll see what happens if I can, eventually monetize it and get to the point where I have those followers where I can do that. That's my goal. But for right now, I'm just having fun, guys. I'm just, doing a weekly show where I, have my guest and, we kind of go from there. Every guest I've had so far has been awesome. So I thank everybody for being a part of it. This is going to be, I think, episode 18 now. So 19 officially will be next week with Greg. This is kind of like an unofficial one. It just counts in my book because I'll post it to YouTube, but it's really not a podcast since I don't have a guest, but it is me talking. So, I wanted to leave all the fun stuff for next week. So again, talking watches and talking, job and talking, lifestyle and talking occasions, and then all the people that influence us in the business. All the high rollers, as you say, with people who could afford these luxury watches and what they do to obtain them, and what we do to one day hopefully get to that. So it's going to be fun. Like I said, Greg's a good dude. We've been chatting now for a couple weeks. Unfortunately, today just didn't work out, but we will have that going on, again next Sunday. So again, it's not canceled; it's just rescheduled. So with that being said, guys, I thought I'd just come on and hang out for a little bit, see what everyone's got going on for their week. You guys know obviously now what I have going on for my week, so it's still going to be fun. It's still going to be awesome. It's going to be a great time next Sunday. So that is going to happen, and we are going to keep moving forward, guys. So the podcast is a rolling. Like I said, I have some people lined up that I'm going to have on my show next. I still have a bunch of guests on the way. Ones that I have coming. We're working out schedules and stuff with them. So it's just going to be kind of my goal is to keep everything working on a straight and arrow path. I do have a very long list of people that I have to get scheduled. Unfortunately, guys, right now I do have some conflicting issues with my guests. So Amanda's another one. She is going to be on in 2 Sundays from now. That's going to be awesome, but we are definitely planning on having her on. She is a TikTok influencer, so she's going to be a great guest. Like I said, I'm having my buddy James come back on with Paranoia Threat, who've both been previous guests. They've both been awesome, but we're going to talk horror movies, trying to get the watches out of the way, get the wrestling out of the way, get the movies out of the way. And then I'm just going to kind of do some things, guys, where I just have some fun episodes coming up where I just really want to, kind of just hang out and, get the people on my show that can influence you in other ways. Like I said, I have Lakeisha coming up. She's all about business. We are working on one of her friends coming on. He's kind of, a newbie to social media in front of a camera. So he's got a great Instagram setup, but he is now trying to get his face in front of everybody else, which is kind of intimidating if you're not used to it, if you're not used to talking to a large group of audience or a large group of people. So it's going to be fun, guys. I got a lot of stuff coming up down the road. I'm going to try and get a couple more military people on. I'm going to try and get a couple more law enforcement people on. I'm going to try and get a firefighter friend of mine on. So we are just kind of rolling, down the steps. I had a radio DJ lined up, and unfortunately, he kind of went MIA. He's got some family stuff to take care of, so we are going to work that out. But like I said, the the ball keeps rolling. We keep moving forward. The train is on the tracks. Unfortunately, today Greg had to cancel, but again, we're just rescheduling, so it's not a cancellation of the show. It's just a reschedule cancellation for today. So Greg will be on next Sunday. We're going to do that. Like I said, I have a whole list of people that I want on my show, and we are going to, have a podcast every week here on out through July, August, September, and hopefully, through the years. So I have a bunch of people lined up. I'm really excited for my June shows because, like I said, I have Letitia coming up. I have Kaji coming up. I'm trying to get my buddy Jordan on. I'm trying to get my buddy Tanner on. So it's just, like I said, scheduling with people who have lives and businesses and things that they're doing. It's hard to get time during the week to try to find it. So they all are willing to work with me. I'm willing to work with them. And that's kind of how it goes. So when I network and I reach out, everyone says, yes, I'd love to. Let's just try to find a date. And that's kind of where we come into the issue of, scheduling and getting people lined up and moving, in that direction of a date that works for both of us. Unfortunately, some things do happen when you schedule that date. So again, I just have to pivot and move on. There's nothing I can do. I tried to find some last minute guests for today and nothing worked out. So it's just me now chatting with you guys about, the unfortunate things that happen during life, right? Schedules happen. People get sick, people get hurt, family members, need attention more than a podcast does. So I understand that, right? So with that, in the transition of me moving forward with today's podcast is just kind of me just hanging out. So obviously it's not going to be an hour long. I'll wrap things up in a few minutes, but I just wanted to come on and thank everybody for, the love and support and everything that you guys have done for me, everything that you have shown me here on TikTok, Instagram, and on YouTube. Please subscribe to my channel, guys. If you watch this later, it's One Fun Guy Podcast over on YouTube. That's kind of where I want to grow. But Facebook is a great spot for me to go live with for now, just because I can get the interaction, and then from there, hopefully, it blossoms into an overwhelming powerhouse on social media, and that's my goal, is to make it the best podcast I could possibly have it, week in and week out, and that's my goal. So with that being said, guys, I just wanted to thank everybody again for understanding today's podcast with Greg. It's just going to be rescheduled for next week. I've already posted some stuff about that. Roberto will be Friday night, Greg will be Sunday, and then next Saturday night will be Letitia. So the like I said, guys, the train is on the tracks and it is rolling. We just had a little setback today, and it's minor. So next week I'll be back on with Greg and Roberta, and then the following week will be Letitia. So I got everything's lined up and ready to go, and I'm happy that the trajectory of the podcast is going to go deep into the future. So I am excited about what that future holds. If you yourself want to be a guest on my podcast, or you know somebody who would make a good guest, please send them my way. My email is onefunguypodcast@gmail.com, or send me a message here on Facebook, on Instagram, or on TikTok. And, if you think that somebody who would make a good guest, just let me know. Like I said, my list is ever growing, so I will fit everybody in at some point, whether it's this month, the next month, or the following month, or into the future, or even possibly down the road towards the holidays. We'll work that out. So with that being said, guys, I really appreciate all the love and support. I'm glad that everybody's here that's joining me. I really appreciate all the shares, all the likes. If anybody has any questions or wants to know anything, feel free to ask. I'll be on for a couple more minutes, and then I think I'm going to wrap things up, get myself ready for this week with Roberta. And then I have a few videos that I need to edit and post, and then this will be up on YouTube probably in about maybe an hour after this. I'll do some just slight editing on this video, and then from there, we'll just kind of see what happens. So again, thank you guys for all the love and support. I'm One Fun Guy Podcast here on Facebook, over on YouTube, on Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me all over. So please, if you like what you see, just send me a subscribe. Follow me, share me out. Do all the social media stuff that you can do. I really appreciate it, guys. The love and support has been great. It's been a really fun journey, and I'm excited to keep going with with this podcast and everything else. So I really am excited, guys. And I do appreciate all the love and support. Greg will be next Sunday. I just want to reiterate, Roberta will be Friday, Greg will be Sunday, and then the following week will be Letitia. So it is going to be a fun few weeks for me. And then, like I said, I'm already lining up guests for July and August. So, everything is on track, guys. So again, I appreciate all the love and support. I appreciate you guys following me. I am the One Fun Guy podcast. So please, if you can share this video, if you like it, make some comments. Do the same thing over on YouTube. If you subscribe to my channel, drop a like, drop a thumbs up, and we will go from there. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap things up. I will be on next Friday with Roberta and then Sunday with Greg. So I will see you guys during the week. I'll post a few videos, and I'll post a few pictures and some stuff like that. And like I said, we'll see Roberta Friday and Greg on Sunday. Again, I'm the One Fun Guy podcast across all the platforms, guys. So if you like what you see, please follow, subscribe, share, and like. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you, everybody.